There is this one question. Look at all the god statues. Why is it mostly wearing a Poonul, the so-called sacred thread, which is also coincidentally worn by Brahmins in India? I have noticed this even in the rural parts of India, that the temples and gods and the paintings and the statues in calendars. Have you noticed this? Start noticing. So does that mean all the gods are Brahmins? No, the problem is actually deeper. The problem is not what the Poonul means. The problem is who is allowed to look closer to the image of God. He looks like the Greek god or the Greek goddess. People looking close to Jesus, white skin and blue eyed, which is not true, but the depiction of how Jesus was portrayed. And in India, when the god is shown with one caste symbol, your mind learns one silent message. The idea of spirituality has one body type. The closest the symbols has the advantage of power. And this is not belief, this is training. The oppression doesn't have to be violent, it's also about looking holy. When the caste hierarchy wears costumes, so the highest caste has a costume closer to looking God, people actually stop questioning it because it is beyond the questioning. Because you no longer worship God, but you worship the design of power. Caste is not just social, it's visual technology. The way that God is presented in calendar arts, statues, paintings, dance forms. Every image is like a software code subtly written into our subconscious. The real danger is not about the myths of Ramayana or Mahabharata, is the monopoly of that myth. How does the character look in those myths? Visualize in television when only one group is allowed to imagine the godlike appearances, God will start speaking that group's politics. And when you don't question that design, and that's when our freedom quietly dies. So here is the real question. Who designed the God's image? I'm not attacking the belief here. I'm attacking the monopoly over the representation of the God's image. And the design of that myth. A free society must allow others to imagine themselves to be in godlike images, not just inherit God from one's caste visual memory. Because who is benefiting from that God's image? If you're not ready to get to the bottom of it, there will be magicians pretending to be God's chosen people with the fancy costumes. Continue fooling us with illusions and more stories to keep us mentally enslaved. No violence, just the mind games.